Hello, everyone. We are so pumped to share a new project that we've been working on. And like any good introduction, there is a drum roll. Launch Break, the podcast. It's here, it's live. I'm Zora Stevenson, your host, a has-been hooper. No, my jump shot is not good anymore. No, I can't pass the conditioning test. I probably wouldn't even make the team right now. But all of the lessons, the experiences, the relationships, they stay with us forever. And that's what bonds us. It's like a hidden society. Former athletes, we just get each other. And so that's what this series is all about. It's about connecting. It's about hearing from highly successful women who have athletic backgrounds just like you and me. And we want you to listen and learn, leave empowered, and take whatever gems speak to you. If you are new to Launch Break, it is a global professional network for women athletes connecting current and former college, pro, national, and Olympic/Paralympic competitors. And throughout this season, you'll get a chance to hear their stories. If you like what you hear, well, give us a follow at The Launch Break on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And do not forget to subscribe and listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
I used to get frustrated trying to find women's sports coverage. And then I found Five Wins. Five Wins offers truly original content and real community. Real stories from athletes, smart takes on the games, bracket challenges, and even live events with other fans. Whether you're watching from the couch, in the stands, or still playing yourself, Five Wins is where women's sports community hangs out. Check it out at fivewins.com. That's the number 5wins.com.
All right. Today's guest. I'm really excited. I was like grilling Nina prior about all things not related to what we're going to talk about today. But I'm already inspired by your story, what I've read, what I've listened to, and I'm excited to hear from you directly. Nina Ryan is a D1 rower at the University of North Carolina. She saw a gap when she was in college between sports tech and helping athletes. And so she helped build a first of its kind fellowship that supported over 120 women breaking into the industry. And then at 24 years old, right as the pandemic was upon us, Nina was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And instead of battling privately, she opened up her story to all of us, and she shared her journey, and she built a community of more than 150,000 people and became a really powerful voice in the oncology space. And now today, we talk about the layers of a human being. She is the senior marketer at Teamworks, where she leads collegiate market strategy and continues to advocate for athletes, patients, and humans beyond the data. And she champions human first marketing and impact that lasts. So please welcome Nina Ryan, everyone. Nina, I don't know where I want to begin, but this is not my story. This is your story. So when someone introduced you to a stage, to an audience, where do you want to begin the conversation?
Wow, I just got chills. I've never been introduced so beautifully. So what a humbling experience. And thank you. I'm really honored to be here and hopefully give a little bit of wisdom, but more importantly, I think as a woman, where I want to start is like, if you've been in athletics, you understand how perfectionism can kind of rule your body. What I want to create in this conversation is a feeling of everyone has gone through hardship and everyone creates this world in which they have to be perfect, and you don't have to be. And I am a human just like the person listening.
I receive it so well because there's so many ways in which humans are different, but we've all got something. We're all working through something. We've all got something hard, as you alluded to, and we're all striving. I do want to go back a little bit. I don't know how much and when the last time you talked about rowing at UNC, because I know there's so many other parts of your resume and your life that maybe, go before that in terms of when people talk to you. But what did that experience, what did sports at a high level teach you early on that you're using right now in your role?
It's such a good question. I think sports has made me be Nina Ryan. So rowing started when I was in high school. I have a very, very clear memory. I was actually going into my ninth grade year, so entering high school, and I had this run test for soccer. And I could not get this run test down. Like, I was just not capable of running at the pace that they required. And so I stopped mid-run and was like, I gotta try something new. And I walked home because I was sick and tired of running. And I said to my mom, I was like, Mom, I think I want to try out for the rowing team. It's a club sport at my high school. I'm not super vibey with the girls who are on the soccer team, and why not try something new? Now, for those who have no idea, because most of you wouldn't, I'm 6'1", so for rowers, that's a very good height. And I had been thinking about making this transition. So I started rowing in high school, which is pretty unique. And I rowed all 4 years in high school. And I was a pretty strong rower, and I knew that it would be a way for me to get into college. So I really took it as my priority. I was recruited to the University of North Carolina and joined the team. When I say rowing is one of the hardest sports, like, there is nothing like a rowing mentality, which is 5 a.m. wake ups and grueling workouts that span hours and hours on the erg, putting in your blood, sweat, and tears. And so what I learned in those years between high school and college is your body is so much more capable of what you could ever imagine. You are able to put yourself through hell, and it is able to bounce back. Now, that learning is both a real powerful and impressive one, but it also taught me some things that I don't love. And there are learnings that I don't want to sugarcoat have maybe contributed to my illness long term and to potential chronic pain that I have today. So yes, it built resilience, community, a sense of work ethic, a sense of confidence in who I am, but there are also other sides of sports that don't always glorify who you are. And I do think we have to illuminate that conversation.
Well, there is power in doing things and figuring out what you don't like to. So I know we're all on the track of trying to figure out what we love, but along the process, part of the process is figuring out what's not working. You mentioned the mentality in rowing, but you also mentioned some of the shortcomings that you feel like contributed to your health in a negative way. What are both of those? As you were going through your battle, and I want to make sure I'm not saying it in past tense, because I know no matter where you are in your process, it is a forever thing. How did rowing help you years later? And what contributions do you think rowing had to what you had to go through?
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that it is a journey, because a lot of people think cancer, once you hit that remission mark, it's done. It's actually just the start of life. So I really appreciate that acknowledgement. But so when I was diagnosed, I was able to put into practice what I learned in rowing, which is have one goal, focus on it, give it 110% of your energy, and do it in a way that is possible so that I don't get burnt out. And how I treated going through 6 rounds of chemo was as if I was training for a massive regatta. So there's so many overlaps in versus how I worked out and how I led in my sport to how I led in my cancer journey, which I am eternally grateful. That resilience transfer was one of the most impactful reasons why after 6 months I was able to be cancer free, is because I knew what hard work looked like. And for me, it was trying to save my life. Now, the shortcomings of what rowing maybe contributed is this feeling of almost going too far. We get so used to, as athletes, pushing beyond a limit. Now, I just said that our bodies are more capable than we ever think, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's good for us. So what happened is I stopped really listening to my body, and I started pushing it past the point of accessibility. And I think that contributed to years and years of too much work that puts so much stress on my mental and physical health that contributes to long-term chronic issues. Now, I am not saying rowing caused cancer, but I am saying that there is proof that when you put so much impact on your nervous system for so long, there are long-term effects. And this cancer is not genetic. I am a very healthy individual. So I do see a correlation between how much I pushed and how much my body responded in a negative way long term.
What's hard, Nina, and I'd love your life is lived in the gray area. And what I mean by that is like when it comes to food, like there's certain things like you can do everything right and still you could eat everything wrong and still live to 100. You know, like there's so much gray space in the like just as an athlete, right? You think it's right for your body and activity and then the competitive spirit, like it even works in your professional life too. And then you can go too far. And again, I don't want to continuously connect it to chronic disease, but I'm just saying like life in the gray area. But what is that gray area? It's so hard to find the right thing. Making decisions as a human daily is a hard thing. How do you now use all your life experiences to live a fruitful life where you feel at peace and where in your role professionally, but also outside of work? How have you gotten to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's taking the wisdom of cancer and rowing and placing it into my daily life. And I'll start by saying how I use it in my daily life, because if we're all being honest, that is the most important. Yes, careers are incredible, but if you are not happy, healthy, and thriving, then a career really doesn't do much for you from a purpose standpoint. So what is so important to me today are simple words of listening to my body. Now, it's really, really hard to listen to your body, especially as an athlete, because we had leaders who almost forced you out of listening to your body because they all had demands. They had a goal to achieve. So recorrecting myself to say each morning, what is my body asking for? And not being upset by taking 2 steps back. That has been my practice, because our bodies are our mirror, but we aren't trained in listening to them. And as much as we can force ourselves down a path, it might not always be in our best interest. So there is now a softness that my lifestyle has created, which I'm really grateful for. This morning, for example, I did a 7 a.m. very easy yoga class. I had a very slow start with my coffee and 3 eggs. And if I go back in time, my mornings looked like I was running on fumes and I was working my body to the bones. And I know that's what I need. And you just have to ask yourself, what do I need as an individual today? And that can look really different day over day.
There's power in softness, and softness looks different for everyone. So whoever's listening or watching, I don't think Nina is saying that you need to wake up and have 2 eggs and do a yoga class to be living your best life. What she's saying is find what brings you peace and what feels right to you. And that is different for everyone. Because I feel like sometimes now the internet, right? Like you find a clip and you're like, whoa, well, they're doing great and they've figured this out and they've battled this and overcome it. I need to like completely do the same thing. No, because there's no context in that for you. So it's in terms of taking pieces from everyone, I always say take gems, but you don't gotta take the whole thing, because it's not catered for you. It's catered for that person. That is their story. There's only one them.
100%. And it goes back to like asking yourself, what does my body need? And starting
Yeah.
to train that voice to say, hey, I need the high intensity. I need the muffin, whatever it is. But we don't ask ourselves what we need because we're
Yeah.
so trained in listening to someone else, to your point, whether it's TikTok, a coach, your boss. So
Yeah.
that's really something that we can all practice.
That's a great lesson. And what expertise, skill sets, muscles are you flexing right now with your current role?
Oh man, every day is a new muscle I get to flex. As a marketer, I'm sure anyone who has been in that role understands the hats that you wear. So I am senior marketer at Teamworks. Teamworks is the premier sports tech company for collegiate, professional, and global athletics. So what that means is we're a software company that connects multiple parts of an athlete's world into one place. This is kind of a never been done company, and it's really revolutionizing how an athlete is both supported and how their performance excels on the field. And then as an administrator, let's say an athletic trainer, your strength coach, a nutritionist, anyone who helps you as an athlete become better, they're also embedded into this tech. So not only from a data perspective, but communication, logistics, operations, travel, you name it, everything is in one place. So the company was founded in 2007. We have acquired 14 companies since then. So each of these companies we acquire are a new tech stack that we're bringing under the Teamworks umbrella. So when I say I wear a lot of hats, I have to know a lot. I oversee the collegiate market, and that includes Division 1, 2, and 3. The collegiate market is really our bread and butter. It's where the company was founded in. And we have 14 separate products that a institution could purchase. And each of these, we call them point solutions, are focused on something specific. For example, we have a nutrition platform, a strength and conditioning. We have an operations platform that helps with communication, travel logistics. We even have an NIL platform to help send money from a brand directly to a student athlete. So my job is to make sure that the market, being collegiate athletics in my case, is aware that we have all of these products that can be a solution for their institution. We do not sell our software to the athlete. We sell them to an administrator, like an athletic director. So I am educating, informing, and creating a new space where no one thought really was possible, and helping them inform that this is not only the standard, but where the future is going for sports.
Yeah, and let me know if I'm wrong, but the summary is like a one-stop shop of all logistical things, information, tracking, progression, for college sports. And I love the word that you said, making it aware. What it also prompts me with is, though, your job of it all. Because as athletes, a lot of us, like, the ball is going to stop bouncing one day, right? You're not rowing anymore, but there's still so many ways to be involved in sports that still gets us excited and motivated. And so this is another way to do that. Like, think of all the logistics behind college athletics. Someone's got to figure that out, right? And there is a place for you in that ecosystem. So I appreciate you detailing what you do. As we've gone through a broad sense of your journey as a human and a professional, I have a saying that's really near and dear to me. It's called Keep It Going. It's the title of a poem. And I have it on my right wrist. If I'm going through anything, I'm just like, keep it going, one foot in front of the other. Given your very unique perspective on life, what keeps you going, Nina?
Wow, that is so simple and beautiful, because all we can control is that foot in front of ourselves. What keeps me going is looking at my past and saying to myself, I can do hard things. And I know that any person listening has gone through hard things, because we all have. There are so many things outside of our control. And I said this to my mom. I wrote it in a letter a couple days ago, but she just turned 63. And I said, Mom, you have gone through 63 years and you've made it through 100% of those days that were hard. Like, look back at your history. You've gone through hard things and you are still here. So that's a track record that's better than any other one out there. You have gone through 100% of the hard days. So trust yourself.
Trust, believing beyond control, and those affirmations. What a beautiful way to conclude our time together. And I wanted to add on, we seem like we connect on sayings. Sayings help us, right? They get us through. Kara Lawson, who is the head women's basketball coach at Duke, sorry about it, bringing up Duke, she has a saying, handle hard better, because so many times we're looking for things to be easier, and hard, like, it happens, right, in life, whatever it is. And so, but we do find ways to handle hard better. And so when you said your mom has handled 100% of the hard days, so has everybody. Right? You've made it through 100% of the hard days if you're reading this, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this. So Nina, thank you so much for your insight, for your time, and your warmth. I appreciate your warmth and your perspective on life. If you really appreciated what you heard from Nina, I'm sure you've heard from her before, but if not, she is Nina Luker on TikTok, Nina Ryan on LinkedIn and Instagram. And remember, this is Launch Break, the podcast. If you feel like you want to be a part of this community, it's women athletes supporting each other in our current chapters, in our next chapters. Please get in touch with us at launchbreak.com. All the best to you and yours. See you next time.
Oh, thank you.
Did you know that your hair care could actually be contributing to skin issues? That's exactly why Harvard-trained dermatologist Dr. Arise Rubin created Scene. Scene hair care is formulated specifically for sensitive, acne-prone, and eczema-prone skin without sacrificing performance. These are salon-quality shampoos, conditioners, and styling products that work for all hair types and textures, from fragrance-free formulas approved by the National Eczema Foundation to gentle scented options. Scene has truly become a go-to hair care brand. You can find Scene at Ulta Beauty or use promo code LAUNCHBREAK20 to receive 20% off your order today at helloscene.com.